I remember the week gave me literally my daily. His timing.
The more that we shy away, the more that we remain in fear, afraid of.
While speaking lack over everything. He said,
I don't know who said it, but when they said that the job market is so bad, we quite literally should be chasing our dreams right now. They 100% ate with that. And I'm a firm believer that everything that happens in the physical realm is a result of the spiritual. I truly believe that there's a shift happening in the spiritual realm right now that is pushing us into purpose, that is pushing us into calling. And this is specifically for anybody who's felt hard pressed on all sides. If you feel like God has been trying to speak to you, if you feel like God has been leading you to ministry, to business, to walking in your purpose, and whatever that may look like, I encourage you right now to take the step. I encourage you to press into God more. I encourage you to seek more, because we all have a gift, a talent, an ability to serve in the earth, to steward in the earth. And the more that we shy away from that, the more that we remain in fear, afraid of the unknown, afraid of what's going to happen next, the more that we cause inner turmoil within ourselves, the harder we make it for ourselves. I truly believe that we are in a time period where people are being called to purpose. People are being called to step up. People are being called to say yes. And this is the thing. Whatever your thing is, you're equipped for that. Whatever your thing is, you've been prepared for that. Whatever your thing is, God has literally took you through seasons, through experiences, your mindset, your personality. All of it has been cultivated for your divine purpose, for your divine path, whatever that may look like. And a lot of times we be afraid and we don't trust ourselves. This is your sign to trust in yourself. This is your sign to trust in whatever the Lord has been calling you to do, because now is the time for that. And the more that we run from it, the more friction we experience. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's going to be easy. A lot of times we want to look at what someone else did and do that because it's easy. You can see it, you can guess it, or we want to stay in places that we've been called out of because it's something that you can perceive. It's something that you can know what's going to happen next. It's not unknown. It doesn't take faith. But for whatever God is calling you to, is going to be a move of faith. It's going to take faith. It's going to take trust. It's going to take spiritual development. You're going to have to consecrate yourself. But the blessings that come from it are unfathomable. You cannot put a price tag on it.
I need you to listen to what God just said to me. I was calling him up again to complain about how tired I was of my finances being up and being down. And before I could even finish talking, he interrupted me and he said, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "Well, of course, God." He said, "But why do you panic every time money gets low, but forget me every time I bring you through?" And I was like, "I don't do that." He said, "You do. You keep treating provision like luck instead of proof." I said, "Ooh." He said, "Didn't I make a way before?" I said, "You did." He said, "Didn't bills get paid before?" I said, "They did." "Didn't food show up before?" "Yes, God." "Didn't doors open before?" I said, "Yeah." "So why do you keep acting like this current season is bigger than me?" I said, "God, I'm just tired." And he said, "No, you're fearful. You have more faith in your paycheck disappearing than in my ability to provide." And that thing hit me hard. And then he said, "You keep checking your bank account more than you check in with me." And I said, "But God," he said, "but nothing. Every time numbers get funny, your peace disappears. But your security was never supposed to come from numbers. It was supposed to come from knowing who your father is." I said, "I do know." And then he said something I'll never forget. He said, "Listen, if I can feed birds that don't work jobs, take care of flowers that don't pay bills, and sustain the earth itself, what makes you think I forgot about you?" Tears instantly filled my eyes, and I said, "God, I'm sorry." He said, "You keep asking for overflow while speaking lack over everything." He said, I said, "How do I do that?" He said, "Because you're calling yourself broke every 5 minutes. Stop talking defeat. Stop expecting disaster. Your words have been agreeing with fear more than faith." And I said, "I'm sorry, God." Then before he hung up, he said, "Let me tell you, you're not struggling because I abandoned you. You're in a season where I'm teaching you to trust me beyond what you can calculate." I said, "I believe that, God." And then he said, "Oh, and one more thing. Stop stressing over what I already promised to supply. If I said it, it's done." I said, "God, I believe it."
I remember the week that I got fired. Something in my spirit was telling me that something was about to happen. I couldn't explain it, but my gut was right. For 4 months, I was out of work. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how everything was going to come together. But one thing I did know was that I had to trust God. And let me tell y'all, my God provided every single month. I lacked nothing. Even on the days that I didn't know how things were going to work out, God made a way out of no way. He gave me literally my daily bread. This is why I hold on to my Father's promises. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it was on repeat in my mind, as well as I think it's in Matthew how it tells us not to worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has enough trouble on its own, and how God will supply all of our needs, and that he will literally he gives us our daily bread. God supplied my every need. He gave me everything that I needed for each day. Then, just at the right time, his timing, not my timing, God opened the door for an amazing job. I'm making better money. I'm working in a healthy environment, and the work is not draining me. I actually enjoy going into work. So in a season of uncertainty, keep trusting God. Do not give up on him. God knows what you need, and he knows exactly when to provide it. I'm here to remind you that his plans are better than our plans. His plans are to prosper you, to give you hope. His timing is perfect. Stay blessed.
There's literally a scripture in the Bible that tells us the more we worry about money, the faster it flies away from us. Proverbs 23, 4-5. Do not weary yourself to gain wealth. Weary means tire yourself out. Stop dwelling on it. When you set your eyes on it, it is gone. For wealth certainly makes itself wings like an eagle that flies towards the heavens. And I can even attest that in seasons in my life where I was really trying to work harder for money, the harder I worked, the further and faster it ran from me. Whereas the seasons where I was like, God, be God. Money would come from God knows where, God knows how. And it's probably because in those seasons I was aligned with him. I was fully trusting in him, and I allowed things to flow. I didn't allow my worry to create a spirit of like control and trying to make sure that I do this and I gotta hustle, I gotta grind. When God's like, you just have to be patient and be faithful and follow the instruction I gave you in last season. And we know science and the Bible align. So even biblically, God doesn't want us to have any other gods in our life. In money, we can make a God out of money, right? And even on a frequency level, there is a level, there's an energy, there's a frequency that abundance is on. And if we are fixated on something, especially when it comes from a place of desperation, need, anxiety, fear, we can't have fear and be on the same frequency as faith. But wealth is faith-based. So I just wanted to send this as encouragement, friend. Do not worry about money. We have a bigger God. God is bigger than any source of income, any job. God, he's literally bigger. He's the creator of the creators of the creators of the creators. He got it under control.